"I only slept with him once," she said. "Really?" I said. "You mean once today?" She shook her head. "Well, that's just a total lie," I said. "Have you forgotten that I read your diary?" As soon as I said that, I wondered if I had fallen into a cleverly laid trap. Had Deirdre just tricked me into reminding myself that I wasn't operating on a higher moral plane than she was? "No, I haven't forgotten. But if you had read it more carefully, you would have realized that we'd only been together once." "I did read it carefully, Deirdre. I read it very, very carefully, and you slept with him many times, in many ways. I don't want to go into it. I can't even think about it. And anyhow, it doesn't matter how many times. Nabokov said 1 is the only real number. All the rest are variations." "Nabokov," she said, correcting my pronunciation, and then she lurched forward, grabbing her forehead and massaging it. "You always kept me at arm's length," she said, very softly. "I loved you. I truly loved you. I loved your face, the sound of your voice. I loved how you never gave up on your dreams, no matter what." I could have done without that, the portrait of me as the dogged little dreamer, the plucky little guy who, no matter how many times he gets smacked down, always dusts himself off and gets up again. "You never intended for things to work out between us," she said. She was composed again, confident in her despair. "Just the way you always talk about our age difference." "How old is Osip?" I asked. She waved away the importance of the question, but could not help herself. A part of her would always be the chubby third grader with her hand up in the air because she knows the answer. 25. And it's not a long O, by the way. It's an ah sound. "And I don't care how old people are," she said, with a little pause between each word. "That's your thing." The phone rang, and I stopped myself from answering it. After the third ring, the answering machine picked up. Deirdre and I were quiet and attentive for this minor technological event. As I had anticipated, it was my agent. "Post here, call soon," he said, and hung up. Then a voice came out of my laptop's little speakers, announcing that I had just received an email. I glanced at the bottom of my screen and saw it was from Andrew Post, and while it would have been rude to answer the phone, taking a look at the email, I knew it must be urgent if he called and emailed within the same minute. Seemed harmless. I clicked it open. "Avery, we're at 400, but it's from... and it's preemptive. We have 1 hour to respond or he takes it off the table. Please advise. Andrew." "What's wrong?" Deirdre said, with that slight hopefulness you can feel when someone with whom you are in conflict receives bad news, perhaps creating a little space into which you can insert yourself and offer comfort. "Oh, nothing," I said, cat and mousing with the situation for a moment. "Just a business thing." She nodded, either too disciplined to inquire further or actually not that interested. I had to come out with it. "It's why it looks like I can buy an apartment," I said. "I came up with an idea and my agent is selling it right now as we speak." "You know, Avery, just because something is in a journal doesn't mean it's necessarily true. Did you ever stop to think I was writing those things because I suspected you might be invading my privacy and I wanted to teach you a lesson? No, I never thought of that, mainly because it's not true. But guess what? This book that my agent is selling?" My Piedmont chimed in again, announcing another email. The electronic voice was strangely friendly, composed but enthusiastic. A non-competitive male who wants the best for you, amiable but a little remote, like a neighbor's dog. I glanced down at the lower right-hand corner of my screen. A little flag came up telling me that Post had sent another email. I didn't dare open it. I was still digesting the last heaping portion of good news. "Yeah?" Deirdre said. "What about it?" "It's about an around-the-world sex tour which I am going on. I leave tomorrow, as a matter of fact." Deirdre was silent, unblinking. I wasn't sure if she was even breathing. It was as if she were on the screen of a computer that had frozen. I waited. I wasn't at all sure what her reaction would be to my news. In the moments she spent just looking at me, I succumbed to the temptation to see what Post's last email said, and I clicked it open. My mind was going too quickly to tolerate any time without something new going into it, and if Deirdre was going to be quiet, then I needed to hear from Andrew. "So, A.